I've never heard him criticise the disabled.
I never have.
Okay? Never. Okay? And you are a campaigner. Yeah? I'm going to go back to the last question. Please let me finish.
Mate.
Stand. Stand for Parliament. If you're going to campaign, then stand. Okay? Okay, you have the media profile for it. Do it.
My problem would be, mate, I'd stand for Parliament, but I'd be scared that I'd become one of them. I know what's up.
No, I'm sorry. You've full addiction and you've beaten it, okay? You can't preach that. That is rubbish.
Mate,
you cannot preach that.
I'm not preaching.
Well, you are. You've attacked him, okay?
Yeah.
Okay? And you've attacked him, and you've attacked everybody that stands for his party.
I do.
We're
trying.
I'm sorry. They are people on the street. Are they? Rubbish. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, it's the general public that are standing for him.
Trying to blame immigrants because of his rich.
All right, so you've got some voters here, mate. You ought to stand. I mean, these are your voters. They're lovely people, aren't they? They're lovely people.
Well, hi guys, welcome to the channel. Thanks for coming back, much appreciated. And if you've subscribed recently, I really do appreciate that. And if you haven't and you're just watching the video, please can you subscribe and smash the like button if you don't mind. That'd be fantastic. Thank you. So I know it's a bit depressing at the moment. Things aren't going great in the country. We've got Labour on their 3rd and 4th and 5th phases. God knows what's going to happen next. Praying Ed Miliband probably gets the sack, but it's probably not going to happen. And so it's just really depressing and bad for the country at the moment. Everything's going wrong that could be going wrong. But nevertheless, we've got a soldier on, and it's just interesting. I like to bring things that are a little bit, maybe, I know it's a little bit retro, but it's still interesting and still relevant for today. And the clip that I've got for you today is from a Question Time a few years ago with Nigel Farage when he was in UKIP and Russell Brand. And it's just interesting to see how Russell Brand has changed, massively changed, from where his position was then to where it actually is now. And it's a really interesting little clip. It shows how left-wing Russell was and what he really felt about, you know, capitalism and the rich and this, that and the other, even though he's pretty rich himself. But he always sort of passed himself off as some, you know, I guess one of us, really, who'd made good. And I guess there's some truth in that. But he'd really taken the Kool-Aid at that point. He was the darling of the left, wasn't he? And this probably was at the time when all the things that he's now been accused of by the authorities, because he started talking about things they didn't want him to talk about, now he's been accused of the things that they actually revered him for back then. They thought he was a bit of a Jack the Lad. Oh, it's our Russell. He's a bit of a lad, but so what? He's really funny and he's great looking and whatnot. And he carries the message, so everything's okay. But now, of course, since he started talking about, since Trump got in and things like that, and he's now started seeing the light a little bit and seeing things for what they are, and started to look at things like the medical intervention and the virus that we had, the pandemic and things like that, and Big Pharma, and he's looked at all that, and he's interviewed many people from the right, and he probably would class himself as a libertarian, I would think, but he's still more towards the right now, and totally changed from where he was. And you'll be astonished when you watch this to see the difference in Russell, leading to, I guess, last week, which was the ultimate about turn for Russell over the years, when he actually interviewed Tommy Robinson on his show. And it's an amazing sort of positional change, which is over quite a short period of time, really. And it's not, I honestly don't think it's just for the clicks, because you could do what Russell does and be on the left, he's so famous, and still get as many subscribers, and still probably be able to to stay on YouTube, because Obviously, YouTube likes to ban people from the right still, but there's plenty of big channels on the left, and he could have done that and still had these whatever 6 million subscribers that he's got, and not had to revert to going to Rumble to be able to say what he needs to say. They would love it if he'd have stayed on the left. But of course, he's left the reservation now, and they don't like it. So now they're coming after him and gonna try and cancel him, which have already sort of cancelled him anyway. But he's got a powerful voice. And I guess there's going to be a court case coming up. There's a lot of people come out of the woodwork that were happy to be with Russell back then, and now are screaming that they've been treated in a not a good way, for want of a better word. So it's interesting, and I want to show you this clip. So let's get into it. I think you'll really enjoy it.
Look, if you fly into Gatwick, you'll see lots of green spaces. That is certainly true. However, if you have a country in which the population goes up as a direct result of immigration, what you find is not a shortage of green fields, if that's where you wanted to build houses. You find a shortage of primary school places. You find a shortage of GP surgeries. You know, we have fewer GPs per head than any other country in Europe today. You find congestion, whether it's on the roads or the London Underground or wherever you go. And what you find is that actually you're constantly playing catch up, and really the general quality of life for the massive population has gone down. So I think those comments today were wholly irresponsible. And what we've seen, I mean, it's quite interesting to think that, you know, in 1990 the population of this country was 55 million. It is now between 62 and 63 million. That is a massive, massive increase. And I think ordinary folk going about their lives are feeling it. And I think, having a proper immigration policy, controlling the number.
Just what is the population now, guys? Just think about that. What is the population now? 63 million then, right? And wasn't that long ago. And now we're easily we're just about to hit 70 million, aren't we? Just interesting.
Doing what nearly 200 countries in the world do, namely controlling the numbers that come and the type of people that come, is the answer.
Right. Russell Brand.
Here we go.
I sometimes feel worried about you, Nigel Farage. But the reason I feel worried is because I know a lot of people are frightened in our country. I know a lot of people are feeling afraid and frustrated. And there is a sense that there is a corrupt group in our country using our resources, taking away our jobs, taking away our housing, not paying taxes, exploiting us. And there is an economic elite that this man's party is funded by, that this man comes from background working in the city. Let me tell you something. There was an economic crash and a lot of money was lost. His mates in the city farted. Nigel Farage is pointing at immigrants and the disabled and holding his nose. Immigrants are not causing the economic problems and suffering we're experiencing. As much as any of us, I enjoy seeing Nigel Farage in a boozer with a pint and a fag, laughing off his latest scandals about breastfeeding or whatever. I enjoy it. But this man is not a cartoon character. He ain't Del Boy. He ain't Arthur Daly. He is a pound shop Enoch Powell, and we got to watch him.
Well, Russell, that's all well and good, and you've got your point of view. The question was, is Britain overcrowded? And do you think I'm wrong? Do you not think?
Nigel, can I not be more clear, mate? I think you're wrong. I come from the kind of community.
This is called Question Time, this programme, right?
Well, tonight you could have another name.
And what happens is, members of the audience ask questions, and we're expected to answer them. You haven't answered this lady's question. Do you think Britain's overcrowded and there is a strain on public resources and people's quality of life?
We need more money for public resources.
Well, where's it going to come from?
It's not overcrowded. It's going to come... I'm so glad you asked me. Since the financial crash, banker bonuses have exceeded £80 billion. George Osborne, your Chancellor, campaigned to stop caps being placed on banker bonuses. At the same time, there were austerity cuts against the poorest among us, the disabled, people that we need to be looking after. We need to close tax loopholes which are exploited by big corporations. There's money. I've got money now. I've seen rich people. There's plenty of money out there. It's just not being distributed.
Yes. And I don't like people preaching that I am any part responsible for anything. I've never heard him criticise the disabled.
I never have.
Okay? Never. Okay? And you are a campaigner. Yeah? I'm going to go back to the last question. Please let me finish.
Mate.
Stand. Stand for Parliament. If you're going to campaign, then stand. Okay? Okay, you have the media profile for it. Do it.
My problem would be, mate, I'd stand for Parliament, but I'd be scared that I'd become one of them. I know what side of the
I'm sorry. You've full addiction and you've beaten it, okay? You can't preach that. That is rubbish.
Mate,
you cannot preach that.
I'm not preaching.
Well, you are. You've attacked him, okay?
Yeah.
Okay? And you've attacked him, and you've attacked everybody that stands for his party.
I do.
We're trying.
I'm sorry.
I'm not attacking people
they are
that-
people on the street.
Rich and racist.
Are they? Rubbish. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, it's the general public that are standing for him.
Trying to blame immigrants for the
Obligatory purple-haired lady. It always got to be one, wasn't there?
because of his rich.
All right. Russell, you've got some voters here, mate. You ought to stand. I mean, these are your voters. They're lovely people, aren't they? They're lovely people.
I just hear for a voice up here. You saw on the gangway.
Behave yourself.
Yeah.
The point I want to make to Russell is that you say you claim to sort of stand up for the working classes, but you've got to understand that it's the working classes that have been hit the hardest by immigration, mass immigration. You know, wage compression, the change in communities over a short period of time has led to tension within communities. So you've got to appreciate that actually, it's all right to say criticising UKIP and Nigel Farage, but actually it's the people at the bottom of society that have been hit the hardest by immigration.
I'm telling you, mate, honestly, I come from the same community as you come from. I've been very lucky and I've had a few breaks and I've got a few quid now. And I'm telling you that immigration has always been happening. What happened in 2008 was very unique. If I thought, my friend, I swear to you, if I thought, listen, try this for 2 years, turn your focus to corruption in the city, turn your focus to apathetic politicians, turn yourself to the corruptions going on there, and if in 2 years' time your life ain't got better, campaigning against the people that have wealth and power, not those that have very little, if it's still the same, I'll come with you and campaign. But I'm telling you, I know where the power is, I know where the money is, I know what we've got to do.
So there we go. Wow, what a difference. What a difference to Russell Brand today from then. Amazing, isn't it? It's astonishing. I wonder what happened to change his mind. Sometimes you do go like that when you get a bit older, don't you? And you do change. They always say that. And especially when you've got a few quid, you probably do change and go towards a more conservative sort of approach and thought process. But it's an amazing change. And of course, as soon as you do it, which is as soon as you do what Russell's done, the left cancel you immediately. It's happened so many times to so many people. So now they've just gone after him. So he was protected before. He could say things that whatever he wanted to do, and of course he could have the lifestyle they had and be a bit racy and a bit Jack the Lad with the ladies and stuff. Nobody ever mentioned it, and obviously they all saw what he was, that he was a bit amorous. I'm not saying he's done what he's done, but but they didn't care. Bit like Harry. Bit like Prince Harry, who was always lauded as being a bit of a Jack the Lad, back in the day, and a bit similar to Prince Andrew. You know, same thing, bit of a Jack the Lad, I remember back in the day, you know, but now, of course, he's absolutely been destroyed. I'm not saying he shouldn't have been, but, you know, but he has been destroyed. But they're doing it to Russell Brand now, because Russell has taken a different approach, and he sort of admires President Trump, and he'd been sort of talking about President Trump for quite a few years. I think he just quite liked what he was saying, and I think that's where he started to be a bit more red-pilled. Certainly could see how the Democrats had become so radicalised and progressive that it was just too much for him, and hence where he's taken the stance he's taken. But it was just an interesting video clip. I hope you liked it. It's good to look at some old things sometimes and basically compare them to where we are now. And not much has changed really. It's just got worse. We're in a worse position now. Will anything change with reform? And Nigel, again, let's hope so. The promises that he's making, we'll see. But anyway, I appreciate you joining us. Thanks for coming back to the channel. Try and subscribe if you can and like the video, and I will see you on the next one.